Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, May 31st, and thank you for tuning in. And we've got a lot to cover, and I'll get at it as quickly as I possibly can here. But today I'm announcing, another mission for our National Guard. I am committing 50 soldiers and airmen from the West Virginia National Guard to Texas to help respond to the crisis at the southern border. Many governors are doing this and everything, and the situation is terrible. We know exactly what's going on, from human trafficking to absolutely the potential of terrorists entering our nation, but more importantly than anything, the fentanyl outrage or outbreak, and outrage. So with all that being said, we've got to step up. Governor Abbott, wrote several of us and everything, and requested help and everything, and I surely want to step up and do our part. Now, all these brave men and women that will be going and everything will be training now, and will be there in the month of August, and it could be longer than that, but the initial period is for 30 days, and again, I think we've all got to step up and do our part to try to curb this craziness from the Biden administration that has caused an absolute epidemic. So, nevertheless, they'll be going. We're really proud of them, and we'll wish them Godspeed to get home safe and sound, and I know they'll do incredible work. So thank you again to our great National Guard. I'm announcing today about more and more water projects and everything, but think about this. Think about if I could just give you an update on the Economic Enhancement Grant Fund that we've been working through, the Water Development Authority in West Virginia. And so think about this. I am happy today to announce that we have approved 100 projects with a total project cost of $1.1 billion and a state match of $280 million. And these projects will be in 43 different counties in West Virginia. And I want to read just a couple things to you. One of the projects will assist the renovation and completion of Clay County the judicial annex there that was damaged in the 2016 floods. In Mineral County, funds will be utilized to install a fire pump station that will support the sprinkler systems for businesses. Money in Tyler County is being used to fund the construction of the new Sistersville General Hospital. Absolutely, these projects, all across this great state, and that's why I was supportive to absolutely try to get as much dollars into West Virginia as we could possibly get to be able to do infrastructure projects, and we're doing them. $1 billion of work upgrading our water and wastewater systems. It's a big time win for West Virginia, and so I'm really proud of the great work that we've done in our office here, and many have done, from the legislature to appropriating the money to our office to being able to match up with matching dollars from the Fed side and everything to really make this a reality and everything. We got so many water projects in West Virginia that need real help, and with all that being said, do we not deserve to have good, clean drinking water? Do we not deserve to have absolutely projects like I just said, and improvements that are made in West Virginia to where life is better for those folks in these communities? I want to announce this, that on June the 10th and June the 11th, we're going to have our free fishing days that we have every year. And this is just an encouragement to those that may have not, joined us, on streams all out or lakes all across this great state and everything, and seen the beauty beyond belief, and see how it touches your soul, and really give them the bug. Give them the bug that catches them, or that they catch rather, and then from that, go on an entire lifetime of enjoying fishing, especially in this great state. So June the 10th and the 11th, you don't need a fishing license. Go out and enjoy the absolute waters of this state and have an incredible time. And hopefully then you'll join all of us and think it's worthwhile to pick up a fishing license and enjoy these great waters and lakes every day. We have our first breeze flight coming, that is happening today and today, I'm going to read this. Today is the first day of our airline service by Breeze Airways to the Yeager Airport. And these are going to be nonstop flights to Orlando and Charleston, South Carolina. And that's what we're going to begin with. We hope in the very, very near future, we're going to add 3 more destinations. And with the potential of one of them being New York City and the potential of another being the West Coast. And so all good things, we're working on it. And we all know that the airports are the lifeblood of our communities and everything. I believe wholeheartedly that they're the heart of the community and everything. And they fuel tourism, they fuel our economy in every way. They make it absolutely so that others will want to move to the state because they want to enjoy the luxuries of being able to go somewhere on travel and return. And I truly believe that Yeager is knocking it out of the park. And so all the folks up at Yeager, all the Kanawha County officials that worked really hard to make this become a reality, and especially our tourism secretary, Ruby, what an incredible job she's done. And we're just going to keep trying to knock it out of the park every day. So that's really great stuff right there. I'm announcing a new mountain ride. It's the first one we've announced for this year. And what that is, this is a ride to where this is in Philippi. And I'm going to head up there on Friday to cut the ribbon on this new road trail or road trip and everything. It's going to be called Bird Eye Bend, and Bird Eye Bend marks the 4th route of the West Virginia Mountain Rides program, and I'm going to head, like I said, to Philippi, the home of the famous Philippi Covered Bridge, to officially open the newest West Virginia road trip, and so it'll be really good, and it stretches 173.4 miles, and all across the northern part of the state, from taking Route 7 to Morgantown through Elkins, Clarksburg, and looping back to Morgantown on Route 20. Really good stuff. Great stuff. So congratulations to all those folks in Highways and Jimmy Riston's crew and all the great stuff that they've done. Good stuff. Boy, this one's tough. No, this one is tough. I've known this family my entire life. I grew up in Beckley, West Virginia, and I've known this family forever. But we lost a hero in Raleigh County last Friday, a hero beyond belief. Roy Shrewsbury Sr, I guess. He was the pastor, the reverend. He was 98 years old from Beaver. He passed away at his home, surrounded by his family. Now, I want to read this to you. Roy served, and I can't call him Roy. I've got to call him Mr. Shrewsbury, but Mr. Shrewsbury served in the 36th Texas Infantry Division during World War II, where he received 2 Purple Hearts, 3 Bronze Stars, and multiple campaign ribbons as he served his country as a staff sergeant in North Africa, Italy, and France. After returning from the war, he married the love of his life, and they remained married for 77 years. He retired from the C&O Railroad and retired as pastor of this incredible church, the Word Tabernacle in Beaver. Get this, he pastored that church for 60 years and just retired in 2019. A hero, a family, that's suffering and absolutely celebrating at the same time the incredible life of this individual. You know, we'll miss you, sir. That's all there is to it. God bless you and thank you for your service to this great country and to God above in every way. Thank you so much. We've got a video as far as the COVID update, and Dr. Marsh or someone's going to, you know, maybe this is General Hoyer. This is General Hoyer today.
This is recorded on May 30th, 2023. Governor, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you again in the update brief. My wife and I recently had the opportunity to take our first major trip since COVID. One of the things that we made sure, along with the couple that we traveled with, was to make sure that we were up to date on our Omicron COVID-19 shot, because we knew the best way to prevent against getting really sick, being hospitalized, or potentially dying from COVID was to make sure that we were up to date on our COVID-19 shots. So again, I encourage everyone who may be traveling this summer to a variety of different locations around people from a variety of different locations to make sure that they are up to date on those shots. So please go to, if you have questions, go to vaccinate.wv.gov or call 1-833-734-0965. Governor, the other important thing I'd like to point out to your audience is to make sure that your contact those who are receiving Medicaid, CHIP, or SNAP benefits, as the changes occur and the changes from COVID and the national emergency, state of emergency end, to make sure that your contact information is up to date and you're opening and responding to any letters or emails you may be receiving regarding Medicaid, CHIP, or SNAP benefits. Or visit WVPATH, WVPATH.wv.gov to make sure you are current and up to date on your information. Again, I encourage everyone who is receiving those services to please check so we make sure all individuals stay current and have access to that care. Lastly, I would like to, as we come off of Memorial Day observances, for me personally and my family, to thank all those individuals who made that ultimate sacrifice on behalf of our nation. And just as importantly, maybe more importantly, the families that they've left behind who have continued to sacrifice related to the service of their loved one. Again, thank all those individuals for making that sacrifice and all those families for all that they have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice. And finally, Governor, as we continue to come out of COVID and in this national state of emergency, I want to personally thank you for your leadership and the work that you've done to make sure all of us in West Virginia are safe and we're safe as we come out of this national and overall this pandemic. Thank you.
No, General, thank you, and thank you for all you did day after day, and the same, that you continue to do, and the same for all of our experts and the folks that really stepped up. I can never thank everybody that pulled the rope and helped us through this enough. So that's all I've got, and we're open to the questions.
All right, thanks, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor. We just received a press release in our newsroom, and I realize your son Jay is running the companies, but it says United States files civil action to collect unpaid civil penalties and reclamation fee debts. The Department of Justice today announced the filing of a civil action against James C. Justice III and 13 coal company he owns or operates, seeking to collect unpaid civil penalties previously assessed by the Department of the Interior, Office of Surface Mining and Reclamation and Enforcement, as well as the abandoned line reclamation fee and audit debts. First of all, what's your reaction to this filing? How is this matter going to be handled? And what do you say to the public that whatever debts you owe or fees you are supposed to pay will get paid?
Well, Mark, first of all, I would say that everybody's got to understand James C. Justice III is Jay, my son. It's not me. The next thing is, from the standpoint of having knowledge, real knowledge of the details of this suit that's filed and everything. I don't have that. I'm sure that I'll be briefed, by my son as to what's going on in regard to all that. I absolutely believe with all in me that you've got to remember now, I've announced as a Republican that I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and the Biden administration is aware of the fact that with a win for the U.S. Senate and everything, we could very well flip the Senate. Government agencies, sometimes can surely react, and this could be something in regard to that, but with all that being said, as I've said over and over, and you've seen it 1,000 million times, when something comes up and someone rears an ugly head, do we run and jump in a hole and die? We don't do that. My son and my daughter and absolutely our companies and everything will always fulfill obligations, every single one. And absolutely at the end of the day, have we not done it and done it and done it and done it? And what my job is to do this job. And with all the pressures of stuff like this, because I hate it too, and the stress is off the chart, and it's tough on anybody. I mean, that's all there is to it. When you see something like this, naturally it knocks your socks off, and it's tough. It's really tough. But at the end of the day, I have absolutely persisted and absolutely continuing to do my job, and my job is to be your governor, and that's what I've done. So, Mark, at the end of the day, we can stand back and throw rocks at Jay and the family and everything, and we're a big target. I mean, that's all there is to it. There's a lot at stake right now. The entire U.S. Senate can be flipped, and that's what I intend to help make happen and everything. With all that being said, we're even a bigger target today. And so you're going to see stuff like this, but at the end of the day, I'll promise you to God above that absolutely anything about our waters, our environment in any way, absolutely our workers, no matter what it may be, we will absolutely take care of it. And so and we've done it. And this is like my dad would say, we've done it. And that's exactly what we've done. And during that transition of accomplishing all that and everything, Mark, my job is to be your governor. And that's what I've done. And like it or not like it, but it is absolutely the truth. We have done it there too. And I will continue absolutely with all in me to have all of my intentions toward the governorship. That's what I do.
All right, thanks, Mark. Next to Charles Young with the WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with W News. I wanted to ask a follow-up about the Guardsmen we're sending to Texas. Could you give us an idea of the sort of, tasks and duties these folks will be doing in Texas? And then is there any sort of, cost associated with sending these folks down there? Thank you.
There is a cost. And if I've been told, but I don't want to repeat it because I could be off a little bit, but there is a cost. And we're going to have to bear that cost. But with all that being said, Charles, I don't know all the duties that they'll be doing, but they'll be primarily just assisting the Texas National Guard. They will take their weapons with them. Hopefully that won't ever be necessary at all. But with all that being said, their job is going to be assist the Texas National Guard and try to do anything and everything they can to get this situation under control.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next is Steve Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yes, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here, and I have a follow-up question in regards to the National Guard situation as well. I know we're sending a very small number to Texas, but given our state's issues right now, especially since we do have National Guard in our state prisons and correctional facilities, I mean, do you see that being an issue? Not only sending 50 or so National Guard, us, paying for that. Do you think we'd be better off for keeping them here, or I mean, are you comfortable with sending them to the border? Thank you.
Well, Stephen, it's not very many folks, but at the same time, it's a significant commitment from the standpoint of West Virginia. But we're very, very fortunate to have many folks that are in the National Guard, and we have it completely covered. We do not want to take away from the commitment toward corrections and all that, and we won't. And but we've had 50 people that stepped up and volunteered to go, said they're ready to go, and so like I said, I couldn't be more proud of them. We're not going to drop the ball on corrections, and I think it's our part. I mean, for crying out loud, West Virginia's always stepped up. I mean, if you don't think there's a serious problem at the border that affects West Virginia, you're out of your mind. I mean, the flow of fentanyl, for one thing, is just absolutely at an epidemic stage. And we've got to step up. That's all there is to it. And West Virginia's always done so. I believe wholeheartedly with all in me that absolutely the situation at the border is a disgrace, and we need to try to do something about it. So maybe our little part will help enough.
All right, thanks, Steve. Next to Nikki Walters with WOWK.
Hello, Nikki Walters with WOWK here. I'm asking a question about funding for Meals on Wheels and how that was affected by the COVID state of emergency ending. So I've been told by some of the organizations that it's not just that the funding has changed, but the short notice and the contradicting messages of the ways in which the funding was changing. So I have a memo that was sent on March 24th saying that after reviewing all funding sources and speaking to the governor's office, please be advised funding for meals for seniors will continue at the current level, and be assured that there are many available resources. But then some of the organizations are saying that as of May 3rd, they found out that wasn't exactly true. So can you elaborate on what is actually happening, and then why the miscommunication with the groups that receive these funds?
Well, I can't elaborate, but the first thing is the reduction in funding, was due to the federal pandemic ending. So that's the first thing. The second part is we have a new director, Whirley, that has stepped into the position and everything, that will work through absolutely these issues, and she's communicating with all the different parties and everything. But we're going to. I mean, you got to know me well enough to know this, that I am really, really, really concerned, and it's not right. It's not right in any way for us to have these incredible surpluses and the great stuff that we have going on in West Virginia and have people going hungry. I mean, it's just awful. And we're not going to let that happen. We established an emergency fund, the Posey Perry Fund and everything, and $10 million in that. But absolutely, we need to do any and everything we can. I mean, for God's sakes, 11. I mean, the bottom line of the whole thing is if we're not big enough to make sure that people get fed, that people and we're going to let people go hungry, then that's bad. That's really bad. And so we're going to do all we can to staunch up these the Meals on Wheels or whatever it may be, to try to make life, at least bearable for those folks that are struggling to find enough food to where they're not hungry.
All right, thanks, Nikki. Next to Kenny Bass with WCHS and Fox 11.
Thank you, Governor. I've been doing some stories on the nutrition program about that memo, which was sent in March when the funding was still in place. And then when the funding ended in May and the second memo was sent out, there was also confusion because in that memo, and it's been related by some senior organizations, as the governor promised that no one would go hungry. But after talking to the new commissioner at the Bureau of Senior Services and looking at some records from senior organizations across the state, it seems like that the message from the Bureau is that they want to work with senior groups to work with their budgets to see if they want to prioritize nutrition and deal with it with any excess funds that those nonprofits may have. But then if those nonprofits are not able to meet those nutrition obligations for seniors, then certainly the Bureau, and by the Bureau acting, the administration, would step in and take care of any shortfalls. So we're going down to Lincoln County tomorrow and talking with a group down there that has a pretty significant surplus, but has been handling that money, it seems like, responsibly. And they've already prioritized their budget and their operation to make sure that their nutrition program is covered to the end of the federal fiscal year. Am I reading that correctly, that you're working with these senior centers, but ultimately if they don't have the funds, the state will step in? If they do have the funds, you want to encourage them to kind of look at their own savings and influx of cash coming in to see if they can prioritize their budget to take care of it. Is that the correct picture? And if not, can you kind of educate me on it? Thanks.
Well, Kenny, I'll try to educate and give you the knowledge that I have, but and this is not unusual. I mean, for crying out loud, we all have, whether we're running whatever house it may be, we all want to hold back dollars for projects that we may have and everything. But many of our senior centers, no question, just like you said, have millions of dollars. That's all there is to it. And we need to help them to be able to manage their budgets. And then there's some senior centers that are really struggling and everything, and we need to help them a whole lot more. But we're absolutely trying to step in and help those that do have big surpluses and everything to be able to manage their stuff and manage it better. And at the end of the day, we just want to do exactly what I just said a minute ago. We don't want people hungry. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, this is silly stuff. I mean, if you're a senior center that has millions of dollars, in surplus just sitting around, and you've got people going hungry, well, that's not any good. That's all there is to it. And we need to manage those dollars and manage them in a better way. If you're a senior center that's struggling and everything, we need to try to help them. And but with all that being said, we need probably a coordination of management, and we've got people that are moving to work with the others and working with the individuals at these senior centers to make it work.